Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope your day is going great. Mine's been fantastic. Unfortunately, though, I was at the doctor's when all the news dropped today. But you know me, I was like, listen, doc, I gotta get home. Juice has dropped and I need to feed the boys. So we here, we home now. The video won't be that late, guys, but Florida Mayhem has just released basically their entire roster besides 2 Koreans and 1 Western player. The funny thing is, I told you guys yesterday this was going to happen. I didn't go too in detailed about it because I wanted to save that for when the news was official. And well, guess what, guys? It's official, so we're talking about it in this video. We're going to go in depth, and also hopefully now when I drop some news that hasn't happened yet, you guys will start to believe me. So we started off with Washington, D.C. Now Florida Mayhem. You know, I'm not saying I'm the new leak boy, the new leak god, whatever it is, but I am getting some information here and there, and I'm definitely willing to share it with you guys when I get it. So that's definitely exciting. Anyways, guys, so yeah, 6 players have been released from Florida Mayhem. Absolutely insane. 66% of their roster is gone. We got a whole bunch of tweets coming out from their owner, from the players. We're going to take a look at those. Apparently, the Florida Mayhem has done open trials with like 100+ players from all regions. It's been absolutely incredible, and these players are apparently better than all the ones that they just got rid of, which sounds pretty crazy. If that is true, then that means the Florida Mayhem will be a better team next season if these players can get along and stuff. So we're going to be looking at who Florida Mayhem possibly picked up, and just a whole bunch of other stuff that has to do with the Florida Mayhem. And then, guys, in the second half of this video, guess what? The last 2 Overwatch League spots have been confirmed. Chengdu, China, and Vancouver, Canada are the last 2 destinations for the Overwatch League in Season 2, putting us at a total of 8 teams. We're going to cover these new spots, who owns them, how much they're worth, all the good stuff, guys. If you're excited to hop into this video, be sure, pause the video, go down below, click the like button. We always shoot for 1,000 over here, boys. And also, if you have not subscribed yet to my channel, be sure, click that subscription box, turn post notifications on if you want to stay updated on all Overwatch League news, updates, roster changes, new Overwatch League teams, cities, players, whatever the hell it is, guys. You'll find it on my channel every single day, multiple times a day. And now, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this video. So the Florida Mayhem, as you guys already know, they did release 6 players. I reported on it yesterday, and this is the tweet they released today, saying, "Today we part ways with Swoosh, Logix, Zebosai, Manitin, Zupe, and Zappies. Thank you for all the hard work you've put in from the moment you became Misfits and during Season 1 as Mayhem. We wish only the best for the talented individuals." Alright, so it's kind of an interesting situation here because, as some people do know and some people don't know, history lesson here, Florida Mayhem is comprised of players from Misfits, a team previously in Overwatch that was actually really good. Swoosh, Logix, Zebosai, Manitin, and Zupe were all on that roster. Zappies, he wasn't. He played with Giganti prior to the Overwatch League, but for those 5 players, they were on that Misfits roster that was really good. They were the best European contenders team for most of the part. They did end up losing contender Season 1 finals to Giganti, but throughout the regular season and Season 0, they were definitely the strongest team. Now, all these players were there from the very beginning. Honestly, I only think Zebosai was. Manitin and Tavik have definitely been with Misfits for a very long time. They came in from a trade with Rogue and LG, like, I'd say maybe 2 years ago, so they've definitely been with Misfits for a very long time, but Zebosai is the only one who's been there from the very, very start. And then the rest of them, like Logix and Swoosh, they came along the way, but overall this roster has been together for a very long time prior to the Overwatch League, and they were really successful. So for everybody involved in this situation, not just the players, but also the organization, this is definitely a hard move to make. You know, yeah, they've built a bond over the past 2 years with these players, and it's sad to see them go, but it's what has to be done. It's the right move. It's what you need to do as an organization if you want to succeed. You can't just keep players that already failed you and try to go again and again and again. That doesn't work unless you're XQC. And to be honest, going into Season 1, Florida Mayhem was definitely expected to do better than they did. Maybe they weren't, you know, expected to be one of the best, top 4, top 5, but we all thought they'd be, you know, at least middle of the pack, decent team that would win here and there, sort of more around like San Francisco Shock and Houston Outlaws territory. But instead, they were practically the worst team in the league if you don't want to count the 0-40 Shanghai Dragons, who were just abysmal. I mean, seriously, if you take the Shanghai Dragons out of Season 1, which they shouldn't even have been there anyways, the Florida Mayhem, they would have had 3 less wins and would have absolutely been the worst team in the entire league by far. with a finishing record of 4-33, 8 wins behind the second worst team, which would have been the Dallas Fuel at 12-28, putting them just way behind every other team, even the Dallas Fuel, who went 12-28 at the end of the season. So when you're expected to come into the league and be a middle of the pack team, maybe a playoff contender, and you perform this bad, you gotta expect to make changes. It just sucks though, because there is a lot of history behind the players in the organization, but it's gotta happen. Anyways, that's enough of a history lesson. These 6 players, they were all released from the roster today. And after this, the CEO, owner of the Florida Mayhem, he said this on Twitter: "Not the fun part of the process. Together we achieved history. Wishing everyone so much success moving forward. To Zebosai, who has been with me since day one in Misfits Overwatch, thank you. You are forever a part of both organizations' heart." But then it got pretty interesting down below in the replies. So a fan said this: "I'm in my feels." Then Ben, the CEO, he responded and he said this: "Sorry to disappoint you and the fans of the team with today's news. We unfortunately needed a hard reset on the team in order to be performing. This is the hardest part of the job, but we will do what it's necessary to get us to the top. Hope we will have you with us." And then this fan responded and said, "I don't know you're behind the scenes, so I won't judge you guys, but Misfits to Veek is the only reason left for me to wear yellow and red as a color combination, so don't lose him." And then Ben responded and he said he is staying put. So that means Tavik is staying on the team. They're not going to put him up for trade, which is what I thought they would do, but I guess not. And then another tweet coming out from Ben. He said this: "A little insight to today's news, which will shape the future of Florida Mayhem roster. For the month of August, we ran trials in North America, EU, and Korea with over 50 players, including every single Season 1 Mayhem player. No job was safe, and everyone competed." So he literally just straight up said that everybody who got kicked from this team, there was somebody better in a trial process for over a month, which, I mean, I guess hearing that is understandable, and that's why these guys were kicked. And, you know, there is a lot of people who are upset on Twitter, like, why would you do this? Oh my God, like, the team, they were such good people. Why would you kick them? It's like, this is a game. You want to compete to be the best. I don't want to hear none of that yada yada, oh, they were a team, they should have stayed together. No, they were crap. They were trash. They literally were the worst team in the league besides a 0-40 Shanghai Dragons. There is no excuse. Mostly these players should have been kicked. I do agree, Logix and Manitin are very good. I thought they consistently performed when they were on that stage, even though Logix kind of had some issues with, I don't know, depression or just burnout. Not sure what happened with him, but Manitin, for the most part, the entire season, he was very consistent, and he will definitely find a home. For the rest of the guys, though, good riddance. Like Swoosh, Zebosai, Zupe, I'm sorry if you're fans of them or if you're watching this video. I don't know what to say. You guys didn't perform. You're not going to make it in the league if you don't perform. I'm not in the league because I didn't perform. That's how it works. You got to face it. You got to get better. You got to work harder. Literally just being real with you guys. And I also wish the best of luck for all these players, but I completely agree with Ben. Like, you have to get rid of them. If your team did as bad as they did last season, but were expected to be pretty good, you got to get rid of them. You got to make massive changes. And he said, listen, you guys can keep your spot if you perform in these trials. Well, I guess apparently they didn't perform in the trials. Now, one thing I will say is that I don't know about the coaching staff of Florida Mayhem. I did do a video about a month ago on Logix saying that Florida Mayhem's coaching staff was pretty much AFK the entire season. They didn't help them at all. That's clearly a problem. And I don't know if I would trust them to go through an entire tryout process and judge the team at the best. Especially considering one of their coaches was like, all right, I'm just not going to help the team since you guys keep making mistakes. If that is true, that is just unacceptable. Doing that as a coach is basically giving up on your team and showing your players that you don't care about them, so why should they care about you or even care about performing anymore? So I don't know how true that is. I don't know if I believe Logix anymore because he did get kicked from the team. Maybe he was salty. I have no idea. Something else needs to come out. Somebody needs to confirm this story, some more players, because if they do, then that is a huge problem, and I don't think Ryder should be a coach in the Overwatch League if he did that in Season 1. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and move on now and take a look at these last tweets from the CEO of Florida Mayhem. A fan responded to that last tweet and he said this: "As much as I am hoping for a Western roster, I already know the Koreans are too strong. Hopefully we can get nice color scheme change at least." Which he already did confirm. We are getting the color scheme change. That's great. The new colors are dope as hell. But then he also responded and he said this: "We will not be fielding an all Korean roster." Okay, now before people jump the gun on this and say, oh, you were wrong, Michael, they're not picking up Koreans. This doesn't mean they're not picking up Koreans. This only means that they will have a Western player on their roster, and considering Tavik is on the roster right now, they're not going to be all Korean. They can literally have 11 Koreans and 1 Western player and not be all Korean. So we don't know what this means. It's very open-ended. Florida Mayhem is most definitely going to be picking up at least 3 to 5 more Korean players going into Season 2. I promise you that. Sure, there may be a couple of Western players coming in, but most will be Korean. Oh, and one of them is most definitely going to be Hagopen, who is on the Florida Mayhem's Academy roster, unless he got another offer from another team. But I doubt that, since Florida Mayhem does have the rights over him right now, since he is their contenders player. They probably offered him a contract. He probably signed. But guys, I mean, that's pretty much it for the Florida Mayhem. I think I've went into everything. They're going to pick up Koreans. Most of the players that got kicked deserve to get kicked, besides Manitin and Logix. I guess lastly, we can talk a little bit about Tavik, who I think probably should have been released too. I mean, I guess not, since they're saying he performed really well in the trial process, and that's why he stayed on the team. But, like, judging by his performance in Season 1 and even Contender Season 1 and Season 0, the guy was just outshined by Logix and Manitin the entire time. Like, honestly, Tavik is one of the most overrated players in my opinion, and I wouldn't even say overrated anymore because a lot of people are starting to realize he's not that great. And I feel like Logix played way better than him throughout the entire season. Even though he wasn't consistently there, maybe the depression or burnout got to Logix, and that's why they kept Tavik over him. I don't know. We'll just have to see, but that's going to be it for the Florida Mayhem, guys. Let's go ahead and move on now and talk about the 2 new Overwatch League cities, which are the last 2. So once again, it was Jacob Wolf leaking the last 2 cities. This was posted on ESPN. Activision Blizzard has sold slots for its Overwatch League in Chengdu, China and Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, as the final cities in its expansion sales process, League sources told ESPN. The Chengdu team will be owned by Huya, the popular Chinese streaming platform, sources said. In March, Chinese megacorp Tencent, a media partner of ESPN, invested $461.6 million in Huya, and in May, Huya went public on the New York Stock Exchange. On Tuesday, Huya stock closed with a price of $20 per share, with a total market cap of $5.51 billion. Woo-wee there, rich boys! Huya is one of the largest streaming platforms in China and broadcasts a number of esports events, including the Overwatch League. In Vancouver, Aquilini, probably butchered that, investment group, the owner of the Canucks Sports and Entertainment, the power group of Vancouver Canucks and Rogers Arena, will own the slot to the team, according to the sources. In August, Rogers Arena hosted its first esports event, Dota 2's The International 2018. The Overwatch League will be Canucks Sports and Entertainment's first foray into esports ownership. Prices for these slots were not disclosed, although sources told ESPN in February that prices range from 35 mil to 60 mil. And that's pretty much it. The rest of the article is stuff that we already know and that I've already read you guys previously before. These are the 2 brand new teams, and what the hell, I mean, I'm shocked. Honestly, I'm speechless. Vancouver, boys. I did not see that coming. I literally thought like 60% it was going to be Busan, and if not 40%, definitely like Berlin, Stockholm, somewhere in Europe. It had to be over there. I just really doubted that it would be anywhere else. Maybe Melbourne, maybe that Halo of Thoughts sources would have came through. That didn't happen. And I know maybe it could have been in America, you know, since so many teams are already here, but it was Vancouver, Canada. That came as a shock. And I'm pretty damn sure if you're a Vancouver resident or just somebody who's Canadian and lives in the western side of that country, you are excited as all hell right now. You are lucky too. What? And as the article said, Rogers Arena and Canucks Entertainment, they did host their first event that was esports related just like a month ago, which was Dota 2's The International. And it was absolutely massive. It was an amazing event. So maybe they were like, all right, let's go buy a spot real quick. Real interesting. Like, I don't know what to say. I just did not expect Vancouver. I feel bad for Europe. I feel bad for Busan. I just really feel like there should have been more teams in Europe and maybe another Korean one. But apparently this is going to be the final 8 and Blizzard doesn't want to sell anymore. I have a feeling they could sell more if they wanted to. Let's go and talk a little bit about the Chengdu one because I forgot to mention them. I mean, Benchmob, boys. All I can say is Benchmob. He told us that there would be 4 total Chinese teams going into Overwatch League Season 2. So many people raged at the guy, called him an idiot, said his sources are fake. The guy has no idea what he's talking about. Well, I think those people owe him an apology, and he might be the new Juice Man because he's leaked some pretty good stuff so far. And I'm excited continuing into the offseason to see what he's going to say now because I'm ready for the juice, boys. I'm super excited. Vancouver, Chengdu, it's all crazy. We got 20 Overwatch League teams, guys. This is way more than I expected like 6 months ago, so I'm hyped. Let me know down in the comments if you guys are hyped, and now let's move on to the last part of the video and play some clips as we have been doing lately, because you guys just absolutely love these clips, and today we're going to be taking a look at EQO from the Philadelphia Fusion. The guy's a nut. What can I say? Roll the clip.
Going point. What do you
I'm
need?
coming back, guys.
No.
I'm pulling a boombox. I'm coming back. Ah, I pulled the boombox. I think this is winnable. Oh! I'm not ready. Wait. Okay. Anna. Go.
Ikyo is so good. His flexibility is amazing. The fact that this player yoinked a spot from Shadowburn is incredible, guys. I feel like Ikyo is finally starting to get the credit he deserves. The guy's honestly amazing. Anyways, that's going to be the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like on it. We shoot for 1,000. Subscribe if you haven't already. I upload Overwatch League content every single day. You'll never miss out on the latest news. Turn post notifications on. Now, I'm out of here, guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.